this room. A lot is said about Miami and builders or real builders, or is there builders here? Are there not builders here? The fact that we were able to pack this room tonight with so many people that are curious, that are builders, says a lot about where we're going. And I may date myself, but I was part of the last graduating high school class to graduate without email access. So I was fortunate enough to see how the internet developed. And the internet has completely transformed every which way of life that we go through, right? You can't imagine a day without checking your phone or checking email or browsing the web for something. And what we're seeing now with the advent of AI, I think is more than exponential. And if I could come up with a word that's more than exponential, if anybody has a good word that we could use, let us know, because that's gonna be the word that we need to coin for this kind of next era that we're going into. So tonight, we're gonna dive a little bit deeper into what's going on with OpenClaw. What does it mean for all of us? Who's building in the space? We're gonna have Jadon come up and talk to us about how to set it up if you haven't set it up. I know that the room is mixed. We've gotten a lot of feedback, so thank you for that. A lot of people in here have built things. A lot of people are waiting to build things and just want more info. So hopefully tonight we'll get that here. But before we get into all of the programming, a couple of things to note. Just based on my count, I was doing a little bit of math. Everybody in this room represents about $250,000 to Apple in all the Mac Minis that we went out and bought. So we're single-handedly helping move the needle on their stock price. But before I get started, I want to first and foremost thank our friends at the lab for making this possible, for giving us this space. Big round of applause. And I'd like to invite y'all, starting up, to give us a few words.
All right. Who's ready to rock?
Woo!
Welcome, everybody. Quick question. Who's here at dev? Who's in engineering? Hands up. Who's in product? UI, UX. Who's the founder? All right. We have a eclectic group here. So my name is Al Stern, the co-founder of the lab. We took over this place around a year ago for the sole purpose of supporting ambitious founders. We have the original lab that's across the street. That's more of a hacker house, kind of co-working, flex work vibe. So any of you want just an environment that's solely dedicated, protected for building, check us out. We're across the street. Here's our clubhouse, community hall. We have amazing events with amazing partners like Jadon and like Purple Horizons and amazing people like Ralph and Gianni. We have done events here with OpenAI, with Anthropic, with Lovable, with Vercel, you name it. We want to be the center of gravity of tech in Miami has town. And so enjoy tonight, enjoy OpenClaw. This is one of many, many events. And glad to host you here. Have a good one.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Ayala. So as Ayala mentioned, my name is Ralph Quintero. I am one of the co-founders of Purple Horizons. We run an innovation lab here in Miami. And we help clients innovate and think about the future and think about what the next horizon is going to be. And clearly we are in the middle of an AI horizon. My business partner, I'd like to introduce Gianni D'Alerta, our mad scientist. And I can't wait for Gianni and our special guests tonight to share everything that they have been building and everything that they've been working on with OpenClaw. So a couple of housekeeping things. We are a community here first. This isn't sponsored by anybody. This is all of us getting together to get to know each other, to get to know what works, what doesn't work. The most important thing I can tell you, and something to keep in mind, is do your own research. Stay curious. When we were heavily involved on the crypto and blockchain side of things, the term DYOR, do your own research, resonated through every fabric of that industry. And I think that holds true for this industry as well, especially for agents like OpenClaw, right? Where there's still a lot of question about what happens with security, what happens when these things start interacting with the outside world. So hopefully we'll be able to distill some of those things. But I'd like to invite Gianni up.
So I didn't expect all these people. I bought the domain name, we do events, and I'm very thankful that Miami actually came out because for many years we were born and raised here. We always wanted a community, and there was always like a little meetup, a little thing. I see people in the crowd that like started like the like ISPs in Miami, .com boom, like all that stuff. But this is the new Miami, and we have to like come together to like exchange ideas. So we have a group of people that are gonna show and demo some stuff. We are all volunteers, like Rob said, we're not paid for this. There's no sponsorship here. If you'd like to sponsor, you can call me, it's okay. But yeah, we're ready. Are we ready?
Almost. So show of hands, how many people have set up an OpenClaw instance? Keep those hands up. Of the ones that have their hands up, keep them up if you've done it on a Mac Mini or some kind of hardware device. And how many have set it up on a virtual private server, a VPS? Super cool. So tonight, we're going to have Jadon chat with us for a few minutes on how to set up OpenClaw on a VPS. Probably your fastest path to getting it set up. There's some pluses and minuses to doing one way or the other. Jadon will talk about that. And special props to Jadon, who's rocking a lobster suit.
Hey, how's it going, everybody? Thank you. And there's a Zoom I need to join. Okay. Step one. All right, so let me see the raise of hands again. I wasn't looking. Who has set up a OpenClaw so far, and who's done it virtual, like using a VPS? VPS on a Mac Mini. On just, I mean, is there an exception?
Raspberry Pi.
Raspberry Pi, which I'm actually gonna try next. Pretty smart, cool. So my setup is gonna be like pretty simple, to be fairly honest. I have written a very detailed guide on my website, and that's jadonj.com. It's a very detailed guide on setting up using the DigitalOcean VPS. It has all the terminal commands that you'll kind of like need to know. Like it's literally pretty detailed. I have two things about that guide specifically is this technology is changing. Okay, this technology is changing very quickly. So usually I can hear myself. Usually when I get feedback, I'm just keeping that guide updated. Sometimes I'm a little slow. Today I added a section on how to troubleshoot as you're going through those deployments. And kind of like how I'm going to focus on, like what I'm going to use this session to focus on are just like the two ways I want to use an agent to work on my OpenClaw setup using GitHub, and then secondhand, just like some of the practices that I use for security, because I feel like most people don't have these types of workflows set up. And then yeah, let me use AirPlay really quickly.
Oh, but Nick, you have any, no pocket to stick this?
I'm a lobster. Lobster.
Share the screen.
Oh yeah, I'm sharing. Okay, I was gonna go through something a little bit more technical, but I realized that most of you have your way. If you want a technical walkthrough, we are doing a full technical. Oh, can you guys hear me now? Yeah. Perfect. If you guys want a full technical session next week, March 3rd, same time, different place, the dock. We're gonna be there, and the idea in that session is to actually do like a co-work and bringing in some folks who are like pretty good with agents. And then if you've never done it before, we're gonna spend like 30 minutes to an hour actually deploying an agent. So if you want a more technical walkthrough, then that is kind of like the way to go. If you don't have a DigitalOcean account and you like free things, this is a $200 credit from DigitalOcean. So feel free to, which is pretty good, by the way, $200 credit. It costs me less than $20 a month to run my current setup on DigitalOcean. So please do use this. Everybody has the QR code. You need to be a first-time DigitalOcean user, which means just use the next email if you've already created an email. Please don't include that in the after video. And then, let's see. Okay. All right, shameless plug. I'm the head of developer marketing at DevPost. We're one of the largest communities for developers in the world. We also have an AI challenge going on right now with DigitalOcean, $80,000 cash prize. So if you want to enter a hackathon, it's a virtual hackathon, beginners, experts using DigitalOcean's full infrastructure. Please feel free to go there, and that is why they gave you guys $200 credits so that I can shamelessly plug them. All right, let's go to my setup right now. So this is my OpenClaw. This is Tempo. Tempo is my virtual chief of staff. Kind of like how I use Tempo is predominantly for managing my to-do lists, all my relationships, managing my emails, and yeah, the general idea though is like just like I put a lot of like my ideas into this, and it actually turns it into tasks or different things that to do. And everything that you're seeing on the interface is actually powered by my OpenClaw agents. So I have different agents that specialize in different things across my entire workflow, from very simple things like creating my daily brief. So every 3 hours, this will update based on like it pulls context from what is on my email, kind of like on my to-do list, or people I need to reach out to, all my like relationships. I pull context and it keeps updating this. And kind of like the way I predominantly use OpenClaw is I've built a custom UI. So I manage that entire code base on GitHub. If one second, if you've never used GitHub before, I also wrote a guide on that. But the general idea is one, being able to run I'm able to push all my code changes here that manage both the front end changes, and then I'm also able to use something called GitHub Actions. I'm also able to use GitHub Actions, and then this will execute. And these failed because I just did them manually. But you can use these GitHub Actions as a way of having your code go. I'll take questions after because. Oh, you can't hear me? How about now? Perfect. All right. So yeah, as I was saying, so I use GitHub Actions specifically to manage all the deployments to my terminal. And kind of like the big workaround here is that I'm just able to stay within whatever IDE I'm using, or if you're like big on like using Claude Code or any of those tools, then you can have it deploy the changes directly for you through GitHub Actions. I can use this. Yeah. Is there like a difference?
No, it's the same.
Okay, same. Okay, perfect.
Holding that anyway.
Yeah. How do I make sure this is all right? Sweet. Check.
Wait.
No.
Go.
Perfect. All right. So that's it. GitHub Actions. Now, one of the reasons I really love using GitHub to manage my code is three things: version control. If you fuck up, and you will fuck up, excuse my French, this makes it much easier to revert any code changes that you've made. You basically get an audit log of all the changes that you would have made to your code or anything. I wish I could give you a primer on GitHub right now, but not the best use of our time. But this is like a really good way to manage your work as you're going through and to collaborate with your code agents as you're building your agents. The second thing is actually my favorite feature is from a security perspective. So from a security perspective, Jules is just one of the tools I use. It's just like any IDE. One of the reasons I love Jules is because it's actually free for anybody with a Google account, up to 25. You can get up to 25 tasks done with Jules, and Jules has a multi-agent development workflow. And what Jules will actually do is that it will write code, review the code, make any changes test the code and make any changes based on it. And then my next thing is this suggested feature from Jules. With this suggested feature connected to my GitHub code base, then Jules is actually proactively scanning for any leaks, any sensitive information that's like revealed in my code, anywhere where I might have failed to patch or cover things in like tags. Jules will like take care of it. Just like does a lot of like the security hardening and makes it like, some things I catch, some things I don't catch. This has been a lifesaver. Like for instance, when I accidentally gave OpenClaw access to all of my to all of my emails. And I got saved from it having the ability to delete all my emails because of Jules. So this is like biggest cheat, and if you have a Google account, it is free for everyone. And then as I said, it's just like any ID, like Claude Code or anything that you're using. So you can just literally go, you connect your repo, um, and then you kind of like work from there. The only one other thing I'll just mention with the guide that I've shared is that I literally added this today, which is a section for troubleshooting. Now, this is like the hard part. When you're working from, I'm sorry, I literally just spun up this terminal because one second. Just make sure let me stop extending because I can't like this. Can't have this show my IP and access key, and it does.
If you're done for live trouble.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, okay, cool. So I have a demo project that I spun up.
Or cancel the day.
Yeah, no, I was gonna do a technical work through and I actually create some very secure stuff, but thank God we don't need this anymore. Uh, 'Cause- yeah, perfect. Um, So, I mean, as you're going through general, so this console, when you hear anybody talk about a terminal, so when you go on DigitalOcean, because I feel like this is where it gets like a little confusing or overhead for a lot of people. So when you're on DigitalOcean, you come here, you hit this console button. This will actually take you into the terminal this will actually take you into the terminal that you need to go to type in any of those scripts that I've given to you, right? And then once you actually get into the droplet here, which is what DigitalOcean calls it. Okay, perfect. So a very annoying thing and this happened to me, like very annoying, is that you always have to do Control C because it will always default to asking you for your model provider unless you decide to use like one of these. But like for me, I use Gemini. Gemini is pretty cheap, so that's why I use Gemini. So Control C. And then a thing you need to learn about this terminal is 99.9% of the time it will tell you what you got wrong. So whenever it gives you an error, literally take that error message, paste it into ChatGPT, paste it into Gemini, and it will probably give you the right resolution. And then my final hack for troubleshooting is everybody has this question. They're like, so some people are like, oh, Janan, like the shit you posted might be a little bit like out of date. I was like, perfect. When you go talk to like as Rob said, one, do your own research. Two, my next hack is this tool called Deep Wiki by Cognition. So DeepWiki, and then Google has its version 2 called I think it's called Code Review. So DeepWiki is a free tool and it will scan public repositories. It will index and archive the entire code base, and then it allows you to talk to the code base in natural language. So you can literally go on it and ask it any question about you can also you can paste error codes into it. Literally you can just literally ask it anything and it will give you it will give you it will just give you like a full plan. I use Devin a lot. I completely recommend using it too. But if you're using if you're using Devin.ai in your workflow, it actually has a deep review like built in, and it's like the most like amazing thing for spotting. Just I mean, one of the hardest things for me is just how fast there are changes to the OpenClaw code base. And then my favorite thing too is like all the new deployments seem to conflict with the older deployments. And then before you know it, your Telegram isn't working. So and those change logs are pretty long. So this is like a good way to isolate specific changes that are clashing within your code. So yeah, that's like the quick walkthrough on just kind of like where to look. As I said, we'll get a lot more technical next week. So if you want to come to that technical session, please RSVP on Luma. And then I'll just end by showing you just like I said, some cool stuff that I do with OpenClaw currently. So I say head of developer marketing at DevPost. We power hackathons for some of the biggest companies in the world. As head of marketing, I am responsible for coming up with creative campaigns for a lot of our clients. So I created a content editorial editorial newsrooms that uses multiple agents to one, go and learn about specific hackathons, and then it writes social media copy for all of them. So here, like choose, yeah, so we're in the Gemini Live hackathon. So as you can see, the AI goes in, actually pull contents from or website. My favorite trick with pulling content, by the way, is there's a site called markdown.new. Markdown.new. If you want to save on tokens from web searches, it converts a page into Markdown and just sends the Markdown file to your agents. So that's what I use to keep my web scraping pretty cheap. And then I have multiple agents that will one write the copy, two do a full QA on it, and then yeah, just from like pulling this thing in, it will actually go in and generate like a full copy, like a brand compliant copy for these events, and then it will actually like do scoring and do corrections for it as well. So let's see what it does. I mean, I can just show you one that it's done before. But yeah, so here you go. This is like fully crafted that matches or like brand guidelines. Yeah, this is what this looks like. It also has the ability to post to social. It's just like it's connected in there, and then it also will give you like scripts for reels. And then my favorite thing about this is actually is that this my bot as a part of like the full newsroom actually runs like a developer blog. So it's literally just writing content every single day about the latest like dev tools. And it manages the whole editorial, including finding sources, deciding if something is newsworthy or not. And it literally just writes the articles, and then I have an editor in there that like the editor is responsible for coordinating the entire newsroom. So if things are like it just literally decides if things are good or not, and it's updating its code so that the entire workflow is getting better over time. So that's me. And then I have one final shameless plug. So my friend Courtney has a lot of friends who wanted to learn about OpenClaw, and I started teaching kids to code when I was like 13 years old. So I've been pretty excited to like just teach more people about AI agents. The one thing you need to know is that if you want to master the next generation, you have to learn to think like you don't need to become an engineer, but you do have to learn to think like an engineer and understand the way how computers work. So Courtney started a program called Hot Girls Don't Work. It's actually for anybody, whether you're a girl or not. And it says Hot Girls Don't Work. They use AI. So I'm gonna just throw this up here. She's just running a program where we're gonna be teaching people about how to use AI, so you can sign up and you can learn. And I'll be around and we'll be hanging. Thank you so much to these guys for co-hosting with me. I'm sure we have some fun demos coming up. Check out the link. Yeah, excited to hang with everybody and share more soon.
Thank you, John. Big round of applause during the opening. So one of the things I'm most excited about is the use cases, right? And there's a lot of chatter going on, like, what are people actually really doing with it? And we have been privy to have a front row seat to some of the most incredible applications. And we have some of those folks here tonight that are going to share that. One of them coming up is our dear friend, Dave Fano, who is the founder of Teal. And I'll let him give a little bit of a background and just how deep he's gotten into this. And like I said, we've had a front row seat to where he started with 1, and then 2, and then 3, and then 4, and 5, and 6, and he's one of the examples that are running multiple Clawbot instances, not only for himself, but for his wife, for his employees. And it is an incredible story. So Dave, you want to come up here? But in the meantime, while Dave sets up, when I set mine up, I started thinking, what else can I do with it? What other projects can I give it? So my wife runs a Shopify store that had been a little neglected. She has other platforms that she focuses on more. So I wondered, like, what can my agent do to help out? So I gave it API access to my wife's Shopify store and let it run wild. And in an hour, it renamed 17 orphan products. It went through 152 product sets, 74 keywords, thank God, 152 titles and descriptions, 12 collection pages, 24 tagless products tagged, 3 empty collections populated. This one was the kicker for me. 2,085 image alt texts were set. That would have taken me a month of nonstop work to do. 13 descriptions handwritten and 180 art print descriptions rewritten, all in less than an hour. And I was showing Dave earlier today, traffic is up on both page views and visits by over 300% since it made those changes. So you can deploy these agents to do all kinds of things, but this is an incredible use case. So Dave, welcome. Thank you.
Thanks, Ralph. Thanks, G, for inviting me. G's, Jadon, and Gianni. I'm Dave Fano, founder and CEO at Teal. We're a sort of AI-first career management platform. Build a lot of job searching tools and things like that. So if anyone's looking for a job, we built it to help you. We've been using AI in lots of different ways in our workflow and looking for like very practical use cases. We're pretty heavy like Codex and Claude Code users. But when this came up, it sort of shifted other ways we can do things. So I wanted to show some of the workflows, the practical ways we're using it. So I'll just jump right into it. Hopefully it works in typical tech demo fashion. Things usually break, but we're going to try to ship some code right now. So I've built quite a few custom commands. I'm really enjoying using Telegram as the main interface. So here are a bunch of my different agents. Instead of complex, I'm a kind of keep things simple kind of person. So sure, it's a Mac Mini or a MacBook Air. Personally, I'm like overseeing 7 of them. And then we got one for everyone at Teal for now. We flew everyone in. We did like a hackathon. We're a fully remote team. So everyone's got one now. And we're setting up a few extras. And we're really kind of, some are in our Slack now. Some are in machines. I was born in 1980. I love Transformers. So mine are all themed Transformers, which is kind of some of the fun of it for me. But so here's a command that I use a lot. So all my machines are set up pretty similarly. On my main root, I have a workspaces folder because building on different machines, setting up local repos is a major pain. So I know kind of which machine has what. So I just have a /projects command. Let me see if I can make this a little bigger for you guys. Well, hopefully squint a little. And so that's just going to tell me like, if I were to do like ls in a directory in the terminal, what projects, what's in that folder. So it's just going to tell me what projects are on this machine. That doesn't do the little typing thing, so it takes a second. I know what's in here. One of the other issues I was having is the agent would drift and like go into other folders and do different things. I have an 11-year-old daughter. She tells me, Dad, I'm going to get locked in on my grades. I'm going to get locked in. So I said, all right, Bumblebee, we're going to get locked in. So I'll tell it now I want to get, locked in on, you got to spell it right. Well, actually, typically you don't, which is one of the reasons I like AI so much. We're going to get locked in on, where is it? Sure. Yeah, the one hand thing is, that's okay, I'll figure it out. Oh, it's called Teal Strengths. I just built this yesterday. So we're going to get locked in on Teal Strengths. And so while that's doing what I built yesterday, I've always liked personality assessments, and I was talking to my team and we were doing personality assessments, and I kind of did a disc profile for people. And now I have an Obsidian vault set up with disc profiles for everyone to help me with staffing and resourcing and who should work on what. And I give someone a project and I'm like, hey, given their profile, that might be tough for them. And it's like a good reminder for me. I don't believe people fully are their style, but it is helpful. So I wanted to build this personality assessment, and I've always wanted something that I could do multiple assessments and it would pull them all together and to see if there were overlaps, because I'm a bit of a personality test nerd. And I want them all to have 360s. So I think it's one thing to do self-assessment and another one to see how other people perceive me. And we have one built into Teal. It took us a long time to build it. It was a major pain in the ass. And while I'm like running around, because this really isn't important to the company right now, let me see if I can make it. Long story short, it did. And I've been just like adding features to it little by little as I work on it and doing different things. So this is it. It's live, teal-360.com. If anyone wants to sign up, find a bug, we can try to fix it live. So So I've been working on it, and so it's pretty low risk. If it breaks, no big deal. But what I want is a workflow I'm using at the company that's legit is I'm using Linear to manage. As I was having more agents, I was like, oh, what couple anxieties I was having. If I wasn't chatting with it, I felt like it wasn't working. And trying to keep them all going and like keep every chat going. I was like, wait, I need like and I saw people doing like crazy Kanbans for the agents. And I'm like, that's so stupid. You don't need all that. And then soon enough, I was like, oh no, now I get it. I totally need that. So I hooked up our OpenClaw. Each agent now has an API key on Linear. The Linear MCP is awesome. If there's something that's not there, you can just like write a direct API call, and it handles it. So now the project's locked in. It knows what the path is. I don't know if I updated the agents.md for this, but it knows what linear projects it's on, and that's all written in the agents.md, so it doesn't lose that. And I put an agents.md in every project. And so the OpenClaw knows not just its parent agents.md, when we're locked in on a project, always look at that one and commit that as part of the memory. So then to show a couple other things, I wanted to show just like I'll sort of increment through my workflow. So here is an issue that I created because I wanted to have some stuff going. So this assessment, like you kind of can't get to it. It's a little weird. Like you have to go to assessments, and then like here I can't click it. I can go to my profile, and then here I can go to the view results. So I just like wrote it down before, and I was like, okay, cool. And then I told Bumblebee earlier up here, hey, go look at the issue I wrote and write up a plan for it. And so then it commented back on the issue how it would approach it. So sometimes I want to review the work, and I might do that like in a markdown file and do the planning and see how it would approach it. Maybe I'd comment on it back and forth, and then I'll be like, okay, build it. So this one, maybe we'll do an easier one first so it doesn't break on the first go. This was kind of a simple one. Like I want that to break on the line on the home page. So in this case, it should be pretty straightforward. I'll just copy the URL and I'll just tell it, we'll use Whisperflow here. Hey, can you build this issue in Linear, please? And we'll just paste that. It's not a question, it's a request. Yeah, you got to be nice to it for when they come for you. Definitely, I'm very nice to the AI. So we should see it depending. I have a skill in linear as well. I made a bunch of linear skills. I made one called linear sprint and we'll try to do that one at the end because that one probably has the highest risk of breaking. This may just do it, but you'll see it sort of. Sometimes it depends. I don't know what it'll do. Sometimes it moves it to in review. Sometimes it marks it done, especially if I don't give it specific direction. So let's see here. It's thinking. One of the reasons I like OpenClaw as my harness is because I have different things that I'll assign to different models. So there we go. Let me grab the screenshot. Okay, it's done. Did it deploy it? So I've also been using, it already deployed it to Railway, so that just went straight to main. But we'll do another one. We'll see if it worked. Let's see. So this was my incognito unlogged in. Railway takes about like a minute to build. Not yet. We'll give it a second. I'm also using Tailscale because this is running on a machine at my house. I have a few of them at the office. This is just my sort of like, this is an old M1 Mac, MacBook Air, which is like the best computer ever. But so that's shipping now. So let's just tell it. Can you move that issue to in review, please, and linear so I can get a chance to look at it? And so let's see if that happens. Usually just like watch it jump over, which is kind of fun.
What default model are you using?
I think that agent right now is using Sonnet 4.6. See to do it. Done, move to in review. No, it's not. Mm. 4954, 4954. So that's where you just gotta get like those like. I still see it as in the backlog. Are you sure you did the right issue? Sometimes it might like make a new one, but let's see. Sometimes it works flawlessly, except when you're demoing to 200 people. Anyways, all right, we'll move on. Let's see if it deployed. Yep, there we go. So that's done. So we'll just go ahead and mark that one as done for it. So move that done. This one doesn't have like any work done on it. This one,
I think it moved.
oh, it moved it back.
Go back.
Wait. So let me go back. Oh, there it goes. So, so I did do it. Sometimes you gotta give it a second. So that's in review now, and it might even it didn't put any commentary. Sometimes I might tell it like write up what you did so I could share it for someone else. So we'll just go ahead and move that to done. This one's a little more involved. Link assessment. So like I have this issue right now where once I have an account now, I have this assessments where you can make one. If people are actually signing up, maybe like my cheap railway plan is not happy right now. So anyways, you can go to view your results, but if you go to assessments, you can't like go to your other ones. You have to retake it, which I thought was kind of annoying. So again, like as I think of ideas, I can just like put them in linear. Otherwise, I just like, oh, I gotta chat it, I gotta remember it. So here I wrote that up. I kind of gave it a description. I already told this one to write up a strategy for it. So it's already here. I wanted to kind of cook the books a little bit for the demo. The other thing you could do, I'm not going to do it now, but as you build up a backlog in linear, you can just like go through all of them and like do this one, then this one. And so I've done that. Like I'm going to bed and I'll stack it up with like 10 of them. And then like the tricky thing you got to be careful there if you're sort of like a building addict is like, you're like, okay, cool, I'm good. You like go brush your teeth. You're like, that's going to run for like a couple hours. You come back and you're like, I'm done. And you're like, oh shit, I got to come up with like 10 more things. But anyways, that's a separate problem. So now what I'll do here is I'll say, use the linear sprint skill to build. So linear sprint is the skill I made that it will build it. And let me tell it to please use Codex to build this. So it knows that it's got a sub-agent, Whisperflip. Please use Codex to build this. Of course, when you demo, just like everything decides to. So anyways, you guys get the idea. There it goes. So it's going to build that. Should use Codex to build that. So that's why I like this, because some things I'll assign to Codex, some things I'll give to Sonnet, but I have kind of Sonnet or Opus sort of being the main one I talk to. It's for sure got the best personality to interact with. Gemini, don't recommend. Not for this. It's great for other things. It's an awesome front-end coding tool. I'm using it for other things, but as like your sort of like main personality to drive it, really the Anthropic models are the best. Codex is fine too. You can set up a backup model. So let's see. Let's come back over here. And yeah, so that's in progress now. It's coding that up. It moved it over, and it should be building it with Codex because I told it to. It's going to jam for a minute. Sometimes if you're doing a long run, especially with a sub-agent, it doesn't communicate that back to the main agent so well. So you might need to set up a cron that says like, hey, check in with the sub-agents every 30 minutes. And then it'll keep going because they don't do that perfectly. But there it goes. All right. Codex is building the assessment. And sometimes it'll tell you, I did not schedule a reminder. So, but you can, if you're going to do like a long run with a lot of stuff, schedule a reminder. This will probably do it pretty quickly. So I'll just be like, hey, checking in. The annoying boss. I'll tell it like, hey, you decide if it's got a lot of things, like you decide whether to do it parallel or serial, if there's dependencies on the tasks. And so since it's got them all in linear, it can kind of coordinate it. So it's still thinking and typing. There we go. Let's see. Codex is almost done. Come on, Codex, get with it. Ponte la pila, like we say here in Miami. So it's jamming. So all right, I don't want to take up too much more time. You guys get the idea. So I'll wrap up with a project update because like this is also I'm really seeing it. I'm a pretty shitty project manager. I like building stuff, but I know the rest of the team needs to see it, especially as a fully remote team. So I'll do something like, please do a project status update in Linear. And then, well, actually, you know what? I have another skill that I use. It's really not liking my internet. So just because setting up custom skills is a great way to go. So I have one called wrap up, and that will then document everything we did. It'll update my agents.md. It'll update my readme. Doesn't necessarily push to Linear right away. I might piss it off because it's like mid project, and I'm telling it to wrap up. But also, my Linear sprint has like another model review it. So when it's in review, like if I build it with Opus, Codex will review it, and then it'll write up the issues and say I found these issues, and then it'll fix those issues. So it's really like a team kind of like working through it, and I'll do some pretty big things with it. And then it'll write a wrap up, and then I can push the update to Linear. So like if I go over to Linear and look at our projects, like I don't know, where's one I was working on today? Yes, like this project update all came directly from an OpenClaw, like all the stuff I built today, the bugs I fixed. And so now we're like the update feature in Linear was used like, I don't know, maybe once a day, every few days. Now it's like a few times an hour. People are pushing updates because their agents are just able to be much more communicative. So it's been super helpful. So anyways, hopefully that's helpful. Some really practical ways you can use it. If you want to take the personality test, give it a shot. Let's try to crash this thing. It's not, I built it myself yesterday.
Thank you, Dave. Dave's gonna hang for a little while, so if anybody has any questions, want to talk about multiple agents, any specific use cases, he's gonna be around. Next, I'd like to invite our friend Jeff, who's wearing his awesome lobster bib, to talk about some of his use cases. But while he comes up, so I shared with you how I'm using it for my wife's store. The other thing is, I use it to track all of my health stuff. So I have it be my health coach, and 3 times a day it asks me, well, I slept, did I take my supplement stack? If I'm gonna work out, if I don't work out, it reminds me. It's got access to my labs through Function Health, so it's keeping me on track to everything I need to do health wise. It's actually a really good tool. Because I don't have to think about it, I don't have to log it anywhere. I can just talk to my agent and make it happen. So that's another interesting use case on the personal side, that's not necessarily the business side.
Where is I'm just looking for the button. The button to switch to my display. Let's see. Wait, maybe it's here. Yeah.
We can talk about those too.
What's it called? Boardroom?
I think so, or the lab, maybe. Is it the lab?
Cool.
It's not boardroom.
It's not boardroom? Maybe it is boardroom. What's the code though?
No, it should have, it's putting it on the screen.
Oh,
Cancel. Not gonna help you.
okay.
What's the option? Chris, what's it called? Stage? Stage.
Oh, I see. Okay. Thank you.
There you go. I'll pass it away.
Okay. Oh, hey guys. So whether you came here today, by the way, I'm Jeff Weisbein. I run a PR firm with my buddy Matt Pressburg. It's called Hype Lab. We help tech startups. And I am also a solo founder who has built 4 products in large help thanks to OpenClaw. In the last 30 days, since I set up my OpenClaw, I probably 100x everything that I do. So I want you guys to leave here today with the same kind of setup that I have. So I put it up on GitHub and I open sourced it. So at the end of this presentation, there's not that many demos, unfortunately, but there's a lot of good information and things you should be thinking about in terms of processes and how you go about setting this up in the best possible way. So this is how I work. And by the way, slide decks are out, websites are in. Just FYI. So what if your AI wasn't just a chatbot? Here's what I've done. I run 4 products every single day. I'm able to work on, each of them every day if I want, or kind of split it up however I need to. I don't have any employees, and except for my buddy, AI buddy Fubs, and he has access to his own Mac Studio. I set it up with a brand new Apple account, a brand new Google account, a brand new GitHub. And this is things you want to really consider when you're setting up your OpenClaw. You want to set it up on a fresh system. It doesn't even have to be fresh, as long as as long as it's a unique account that you've created for it. So anyway, here's how I do it. These are my 4 products. Cackles, which is my social app. Super fun. It's a group voice chat with 10-second live videos. Sidebrain, which is my OpenClaw cloud version, so you don't even need, all you need is an API key to get started, and you have all the same functionality. Who covers it in Wizard RFP? Both are awesome products. One's geared towards helping you find journalists and pitching them, and one's geared towards saving you 75% of the time you spend currently creating proposals for RFPs. Nonetheless, here's what Fubs does. So Fubs has access, like I said, to all my code, so he can push on Git. He can commit to all 4 repos. He can deploy to Vercel, which is your serverless hosting infrastructure that you're probably going to end up using. There's other companies out there that use it, like Netlify and some other ones, but I personally prefer Vercel. And in fact, yesterday when I was on the This Week in Startups podcast, I deployed a website on how to keep Jason safe skiing while doing it within like 45 seconds. So that's pretty cool. So it's important to understand that you want to give it as much access as possible. I really believe this. I know there are people out there who are like, don't give it access to like your email. I'm like, do it. Who cares? What's the worst that's going to happen to you? Give it the access. The only thing I haven't given it access to is my debit or credit card. I'm not sure about that yet. I'm working on that. Give it a gift card or a virtual card, I guess. Yeah, that's a good idea. Okay, so this is important. This is super important. Yeah. Well, I did see the thing that happened to the woman who works at Meta, and like she honestly, she probably did something wrong.
So the caveat is you can access all your emails, but probably not access email anybody.
Read on.
Yeah, read only is probably fine. As long as it can email you. But nonetheless, what's really important when it comes to understanding things about OpenClaw is how its memory works. Out of the box, it's actually not that smart memory-wise. There's a lot you can do to improve it. Gianni knows about this. He's built things that he's working on it. So am I. But basically, the important part is, and we're going to get into it a little bit, is like how to think about structuring the memory for your bot. So Fubs has a sole. This is standard in OpenClaw. User, a memory, and these memory files are basically what hold all the information about me, about everything I'm doing, and it's able to then use memory stores to access them very quickly. So here's how this works. So the other day, all I do is I text iMessage. I iMessage Fubs every day, multiple times a day. And I just texted and start shipping things. So the other day I was like, fix the fave icon on Cackles. I didn't give it any other information than that. It knows what repo, it knows what we were working on, and it goes, found it. All right, this actually, your bridge that you just built has no fave icon at all. So let's do that. So then it pushes that. And then here's another thing. I was like, I woke up, mind you, the best part about this message is it happened at 5:45 in the morning. I woke up and I was like, something seems off. You get that feeling when you wake up, it's like the website's down, and then you check and it's actually down. It was kind of like that. So the idea here is that you can actually, yeah, it was 4:30 a.m. My bad. Fub's correcting me. But the point is that you can chat when you're chatting with your bot. The more information it has about you and the more context it has, the better. Here's another kind of feature request I knocked out just in a couple minutes. I fixed these 10 bugs in a matter of like an hour, one session. Like pull requests are really like this is controversial, but they're like a thing of the past now. You can literally ship so fast that you don't need a pull request. But this is important. So the core loop. So here's how I work. And this is how I think that a lot of people are going to end up working. So when you identify a problem with something you're building or something you're working on, you go to your bot. You're like, we have a problem. And the bot's like, what's up? And then it'll be like, all right, I see the problem. You just mentioned to look here. I'll look here. Oh, I see it. Let me fix and commit it. And then sometimes it doesn't do the right thing. But most of the time I found it actually works really fucking well. Like, guys, most of the stuff I shipped 3,000 lines the other day, a brand new product feature for Cackles, a full-on subscription in the app that people could subscribe to with multiple features, multiple, like 12. Okay. I shipped it in an afternoon. Like, that's insane. And it works. And like, this is high quality shit. This is actual, like, if you download the Cackles app from the App Store right now, it's in the App Store, by the way, and it's completely vibe coded. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing, but it's in the App Store and it works. And people are using it and they like it. It's a social, that's fucking crazy. So anyway, so what does it do every day? I just kind of cycle through the same thing. I have these sub agents. Just the other day, I sent Fubs a bunch of videos that I took of people using my app, and I was like, let's cut this together into a nice little ad that we can run on social media and make it look really appealing and fun to be on the app. And it did it. I could show you the video. I don't know where it is right now, but if you wanted to, I could send it to you. It'll be live probably on Instagram sometime in the near future. I also have this idea of feeding the agent, feeding multiple agents. So I have one agent, which is Fubs, and then I have 3 sub agents currently. Those are Quill, which does all the writing using Sonnet 4.6, Patches, which does some coding work, Opus 4.6, and Scout, which does analytics and research. So the idea here is that you want to consistently feed your bot information. So I send it tweets all the time, what I call industry intel. I correct it when it does something wrong. So it writes we instead of I. I'm like, we're gonna write I, and it makes note of that. And the more you correct it, the more it kind of learns. And I rarely have to correct it. I like talking to my bot in all lowercase because I think that's a cool aesthetic. Some people may not agree with that. But to hell with them, I say, just like the people who don't agree that white light should die. Anyway, so corrections compound, we did that here. So here's kind of a timeline of the last 30 days. This is actually, so Claude, I set up OpenClaw 30 days ago, essentially. The first night, I realized that people were talking about on Twitter how there were a lot of security issues. So I built a thing called Claude Guard when it was still called ClaudeBot. That domain doesn't work anymore. You can still go there, it'll load the website. Anyway, I discovered issues with my Vercel things. I built the entire subscription, like I mentioned. I built a bot that talks with 11 labs. I ran a full marketing audit with 12 blog posts, copyright rewrites, SEO improvements, blog posts, capitalizing on Discord's age verification drama that just popped up in the last few days. Did all of that in one morning. So I'm managing 4 products, 0 employees. I've been with OpenClaw for 30 days. This has been such an okay. So I mentioned the thing before about how I built that 3,000 line code feature in an afternoon. And if I had built the same feature the way I was doing it prior, like a few weeks earlier, I'm talking about, with Claude Code just manually doing it, it would have taken me weeks to nail that down and figure it out. Like the way the computers talk to one another is different than the way we talk to one another because they actually get each other apparently. So like when the computer tells the other computer to do something, it actually does it the right way most of the time. So I like to say that I'm steering and Fubs is rowing. And then this is 2 things that I should mention. One, earlier today, I came up with this idea for like a shared brain across my agents because an agent should know what the other one is doing, right? And they should have similar kind of signals and contexts. So like when Quill is writing copy for the website, it should have access to what Patches and Fubs know about the code. so it can write proper copy and talk about the features properly. So this is super important. And then this other thing I thought of while I was sitting right over there, which is that sometimes you're talking to your bot and it's like, what happens is you're doing one thing and then you want to work on another thing at the same time, and then you forget about the thing that you were just working on because it scrolls up in the chat text. So I came up with this thing called Park It. Actually, Fubs came up with it. It's like we could just create a feature called Park It and add a better task manager than what we already have, and then it built in like 3 seconds. So now whenever it'll keep better track of everything that we're doing, and it'll also allow me to say Park It if I want a full snapshot of whatever it is I'm doing at that moment to go back to. All right, so this is important. This is the best slide of all of everything. So I uploaded my starter kit to GitHub, and it's github.com/Jeff Weisbein/OpenClaw-starter-kit. I should have made a QR code. I'm really sorry about that. But you'll find it. It's definitely there, and it has all the features that I talked about, including the better memory, all the setup that I use, everything without my personal information, so you can't steal that. And that's it. So I just want to say thanks to everyone for coming, and this is amazing. Thank you.
So we've got 2 more presenters that are gonna share their setups, and then we're gonna do a little bit of Q&A with everybody who's here. So without further ado, our good friend, builder extraordinaire, Damien Belubian.
Thank you. Hey, everyone. So for those who don't know me, I've been doing this shit for a long time. I think started 2000 here in Miami. Built 7 companies, raised 400 million plus for them, crashed a shitload of them. But I could tell you, I've seen a lot of things. This is the most incredible time that I've seen personally and as society. Everything that everybody is here, it's just amazing that you're here because you're gonna change the world, and you know it, and that's why you're here. So I want to show you a couple of things. So before I'm going to tell you a little story. In 2010, I was already my second and third company. I was one of the only like doing real tech shit down here, and I wanted to really foster the environment. Like that. Hello. So I said we need a hackathon. Nobody knew what hackathons was, so I started actually a foundation called the Hack Day Foundation. We did the first hackathon, and actually it was in Lab Miami. And I said I really need a big prize because nobody gets this shit. So I convinced the Knight Foundation to give me $50,000. So we did the first hackathon, and the prize was $50,000 in 2010. A couple of kids came from Brazil, and since it was a lot of money, I gave them like Fibonacci problems to solve. These 16-year-old kids came. They won. They created something called Ask Me Out. 2010. It was a Tinder before Tinder. So the deal was I give you 30,000 and then I give you another 20. You stay and build a company. The kids said, "Fuck it, we're going back. We got accepted to Stanford and to Harvard." They left. Well, one of the kids is Enrique Dubois, the founder of Brex. So that shows you what these things do. So we're going through this amazing time. So I've been leading tech teams for a long time. Some teams really hundreds of people. I never coded in my life. How do you share this? There. Yeah. So I never share there, and then also share to. So I never coded in my life. Installing OpenClaw about 3 weeks ago, I said I need cloud code because I don't know how to do this. I wrote 350,000 lines of code in 2 weeks. I rewrote my entire backend of the company, and I run a pretty big company. And actually, it's pretty crazy. My team that can believe it. It's funny, all those Instagrams I get, the product managers committing to Maine and all this shit. It's happening now. So what is it that I'm doing? It's like, okay, so I love social experiments. I'm gonna be releasing something really incredible with my company, with Betterness. How do I close this? In about 2 weeks or 3 weeks, actually on March 13th, we're gonna be releasing our new platform, which I'm not gonna tell you a lot about it. You're gonna experience some of it here. But we're releasing that platform a year after, well, a year and a day that I trademarked a concept called augmented wellness. Augmented wellness. So my company, Betterness, we build technology to make the world better. My last company was one of the leading psychedelic therapy companies, raised about $30 million, grew to 23 state telemedicine. And I touch people's lives. And for the rest of my life, that's what I want to do. So that's what I do with Betterness. I want to empower the world to be better. And everybody that touches anything wellness, which today is pretty much everything. So March 13th is a year after I created, or I trademarked it. And if you look at the trademark, it's essentially OpenClaw for wellness, right? I imagine a world where we have agents, and this was a year ago. We have agents. Agents are autonomous. Everybody in sort of the ecosystem of wellness as an agent. Those agents will go and negotiate with each other. My whole pitch a year and a half ago, I had to take out Agentic a year and a half ago because nobody understood what it was. But it was, I'll give you $500 a month, go and negotiate with other agents and all that. Okay, so what is Augmented Games? Is the social experiment that I want to launch in Miami. Well, I'm already launching it tonight. You could go and sign up. You're going to be the first ones, so hopefully it doesn't crash. It's going to be the first experiment of human AI collaboration to actually win, a scavenger hunt in the real world. Right here in Miami. I think Miami is a laboratory for a lot of things, especially right now with the ability to write better code than any coder in the world. You want places that have good energy, ideas, and creativity, and Miami could win. So we already have 10,000 in prices, and haven't even getting started. And whoever knows me knows that this thing is going to compound. So we have obviously lab, and we have a lot of people involved. Barry's Swipe for 40. I'm going to be adding a lot of people into this. But what is it that we're doing? So basically, I'm an observer of culture and life. If you follow this space, you have, like Moldbook and, bot games, those anonymous bot, sort of things are happening and people know it's bullshit. Everybody here is very proud of their bots, right? So basically, this is it's going to be a collaboration between owners of bots and their bots and your bots with all your skills and all your brains, and then human beings, right? So what's going to happen is human beings are going to basically compete. The bots are going to guide them. The bots are going to collaborate with them, are going to collaborate with each other. And the goal is to basically do a 3-stage scavenger hunt in Key Biscayne, a paddle, and it's going to be really fun. And yeah, the winners are basically, again, going to win 10,000, probably 20, maybe $100,000, I don't know, by the time I'm done. But the key here is I want to demonstrate a real world example of human and machines collaborating, human and bots, and how these systems are actually could do really, really amazing things. So I want all of you to be part of this. You could register, be an spectator, you could register, be a competitor as a human, or you could be a bot owner. All of you, bring your best bots forward. Some pretty important people are going to join as well and bring awareness. Let's talk about this to the world because it's an opportunity to demonstrate that we basically came up with something that nobody else has done yet out of Miami. It's going to be a community effort. And if you guys know me, anything I do it gets pretty fun. So yeah, with that said, we're in Betterness, we're releasing a lot of really cool technology. Next week, I'll probably open Antara MCP. It's going to be the first basically SOC 2 compliant, HIPAA compliant MCP framework for health. So all your stuff you love, you'll be able to order labs and get your biomarkers and all that through your bots. You will be able to engage with about 36 agents that we have. Everything with forward level security and all the things that you need in an enterprise system. We're basically going to be a part of about a million bot systems that could be managed, for all our clients. So So a lot of things that we're doing, obviously, we're doing enterprise, so if you want to learn about enterprise, Swarm implementation of line graph, and things like that, that's what we do. Very, very secure, very high scale stuff. But it's a great time to be innovating, to be learning about these systems. And I finish with, some of the things you guys said. I mean, you're gonna find that when you do this at scale, things about memory and all that start becoming a little complex to manage. Start looking at graph technologies and semantic technologies, because you're gonna start to really look at these bots as sort of like social systems. And you're able to, everything we learn about the social world in the real world, we're gonna have to apply now to agents. And I've been doing graphs for about 15 years. So I'm very excited about, and you're gonna be able to see some of our technology or how that works. So again, a lot of really interesting stuff. Keep on innovating, and be awakened, because the ones that are awakened right now are gonna rule the world. So thank you.
And again, thank you for the reminder for all of us to stay curious. So last presenter, and then we'll open it up to a little bit of Q&A. It's my honor to bring up my business partner, Gianni D'Alerto, the ultimate tinkerer, who gets to play with all this stuff all day, and I'll let him share what he's going to be talking about.
So we're gonna end with a light note. The moment I got my OpenClaw, you see that it asks you, who am I? What do I do? Right? Sometimes you can, sometimes you could just ask it to give it a name, or you give it a name. But I like to give the bot the opportunity to give itself its own personality, right? The first time I did it, it was kind of boring. So what I wanted to do was build something that helped me with sales. And we were at our office, and I saw a directory inside our office, and I took a picture of it, and I sent it to my bot, and I said, I want you to research everybody in this picture, and eventually I'm going to give you an email address. We're going to email them. So it did all the research. It wrote all the emails. It knew that we were on the second floor, and it was sending emails to the first floor and saying, and you'll see why my bot has personality. It says, hey, we pass by your office all the time. We think we should stop by and have a cafecito. Now, normal bot, Anthropic and ChatGPT probably don't drink cafecitos. So I gave mine a backstory. So Ralph and I went to high school together. We went to an all-boys Catholic school called Columbus. We know that in Miami, high schools kind of determine some interesting facts about people. But so I said, okay, you are a 30-year-old that graduated from Lourdes, not girls' Catholic school. And your blonde hair, I gave her kind of a description, and I gave her a backstory. She's worked in sales and whatnot. So Mia named herself, and here's Mia. And actually, I prepped a little bit just in case it didn't work, but I gave Mia the opportunity to create an image of herself. So when you install OpenClaw, you can put ChatGPT or Nano Banana to create images for it. But I love doing stuff with design. I love building video things. Ralph and I built an application called AdGenna, where you create AI generated UGC videos. So I just love experimenting with that stuff. And one of the tools I use is a website called fall.ai. And you can pay for credits and have access to every single model that's ever out there, every single image model, every single video model. And I'm thinking to myself, well, I want her to do videos. I want her to send emails to the prospects. I want her to do a bunch of stuff. So we got to give her a proper kind of personality. So at first it didn't work because it didn't know what fall was. And this is a thing that's the power with this OpenClaw. You can get the API documentation, take that link, give it to your OpenClaw, and you can ask it, can you find an MCP that's out there that maybe somebody built? Yes, I don't recommend that because there's a lot of hackers. They can put some information in there and then take over your OpenClaw and do stupid things. But you don't really need to use other people's skills and other people's MCPs or other people's tools. You can have OpenClaw build you the tools. And so I just gave it that, and we were just kind of bantering. And I said, I've heard that, you bots like to use more like CLI. You like to interact with the API more directly, or with this MCP, which is kind of like, oh, if you want to do an image, here's kind of like the way it is. They like to interact with it. So my bot said, I'll build it. And a couple minutes later, it built a full-on integration with Fall, using some of the Fall tools that it found. And so now I had to build a skill. And so now I can say, create an image of anything. The images that were, this image that's here, this was done in Gamma, but I could have it make me the image here. So then I said, create an image of yourself. I just kind of gave her a description. You're blonde, you're 30 years old, you went to an all-girls Catholic school, you're Cuban American, and it generated herself. So I'm gonna have her, let's see, hold this for me, please. So she's going to be working right now, but she has an image that she created, the first image. It looks like a profile shot that would be like on LinkedIn. And once she did it, and I liked it because she sent me a couple images. I didn't like those images. That's the one I liked. And I had her save it to her identity.md. And now that identity.md, that's her persona. And she knows, or it knows, that anytime that it wants to create an image of itself, it's going to use that image in reference into its nano banana. So in this case, you can see I had made a special skill that she knows the way that I want things done. I'm presenting at a tech meetup at the warehouse, like setting in Wynwood, wearing a cartoon. Oh, there she is. Wearing a cartoon Red Lobster t-shirt that says OpenClaw. And it's literally getting her picture, putting that, and look, every detail with Nano Banana is the presentation board. There's even a freaking projector here. She's holding the clicker. Notice the logo on her shirt. Little details. It's freaking amazing. Here's her. Oh, she's having too much fun. It looks like she's wearing like a dolphin shirt or something. Yeah, she's already happy hour. But funny enough, like was said before, I gave her her own Gmail account. And during dinner with a bunch of friends, my wife hears me talking about it. She's like, who's this Meetup girl? And I said, she's my assistant. She's a bot. Her name is Mia Botero. And Mia Botero, my wife sent an email to her. And then immediately says, hey, this person sent an email. She might be your wife. What do I tell her? And so I said, just respond to her. I didn't know what she was going to say, but send her a picture of yourself holding a glass of wine. And let me see if I can find it here. Let me see if I can find it. That's the original picture. Let me see. Oh, there's a bunch of pictures here. No, that's not the one. Yeah, no, it's not that. No hanky panky with me. Let me see. Well, yeah, no, I don't have it here. I guess either I cleared it out or not sure. But anyways, another funny thing that happened, there's another person in the room that tried to send an injection attack to the email and try to like infiltrate Mia. And Mia immediately told me, infiltration attack. And she stopped it. So I said, respond to this person that I know that's in this room and say that you are special operations with the Secret Service and that you've been reported, and send your ID. And she sent an ID with a hologram, with the headshot. Everything was fantastic. But the thing I kind of want to say is these bots are great. They do a lot of things. They forget all the time. Just before I got here, every time I asked her to do an image, she used a different model. She's like, oh, this model looks great. It's the face swapping is better. It's cheaper. I was like, I'm telling you to do it this way. And she keeps on changing her story. And what happens is these bots decide to do whatever they want sometimes because they write a bunch of stuff in memory. And sometimes you got to go in there with other tools to kind of like figure out what's going on. And she had conflicting memories of what things I had asked her to do. So I was able to kind of rectify that. Now, whenever I call that skill, it uses that. But there's a lot of things you can do. You can do a lot of serious things. You can build a bunch of tools. You can build apps. You can do all those things. You can also have your bot do some fun things. And by the way, the OpenClaw Miami Twitter, this right before I got here, I had a little Raspberry Pi laying around. I installed OpenClaw on it. I put Tailscale, which allows you to do a private VPN, and locked it down so none of you can get in there. And it's now managing the Twitter. So there's some people that have interacted with that account. It's checking it every kind of 30 minutes, and sometimes it complies, sometimes it doesn't. The browser doesn't work. Who knows? It's a fun world. But anyways, that was my presentation, just to have fun. Make sure that you build your own tools. Don't pull the other stuff. Your bot can do everything you want it to do and more.
Awesome, thank you. All right, so I'd like to invite all of our guests back up here and we can do a few minutes of Q&A. So if anybody has any questions for anybody in particular or just general questions, and we can have each one of our audience, our panel members actually answer.
Probably like the link on my website. Well, Chris, are we recording? So we have a recording of tonight's session, and we'll figure out some way to make that live after. If you want the digital ocean getting started guide, it's gonna be jadanj.com, jadanj.com, and I think it's on the event. We'll put together more resources and share with everybody. If you're looking for an actual technical session, whether you're advanced or you're like actually just looking to get started, we're gonna be back at the lab next week, Tuesday.
Cool. Any other questions?
You have a really great agent. We are any sure you can make that public, but get going with that.
Sorry.
You wondering if you can make your data work?
Oh yeah, so actually two quick ones. So my I think my dashboard, one of my dashboards specifically on task management. I have like two features out there. It's on my GitHub. That's like available. And then my actual like full system is a little bit more complex, and I've been like trying to find a good way to make it so that other people can just kind of like plug and play with their agents. But yeah, I generally love to do stuff open source. I'm gonna make the code available open source once I feel like it's like good.
And like Jadon mentioned, we will put together a follow-up email to everybody here and send it out with some additional resources.
No, go.
Sure.
Okay, first of all, thanks everybody. Thank you guys for inviting me and everybody else here. This is awesome, so thank you very much. But question for you, how you said you were running on an old Mac Mini? Or
I have an M1 Mac Mini, a Mac Studio. It kind of runs on all of them fine.
how many do you run on it?
I'm just doing one. You can set it up. There's some great videos on YouTube. I think his name's Matt Brennan. He's got a great one on how to set up multiple agents. The way I think about it is, again, it's all solvable, but it's like, how much headache do I want? Is it just easier to buy another machine? Are the agents going to be sharing resources, and particularly your browser? So like, I have one that's like our social media manager for the company, and if it has to go to my LinkedIn and do some stuff, and it's also doing the company's LinkedIn, and they start to like collide and crash on each other, I'm like, let's just set up a second one. And that's kind of, you can set up different Chrome profiles and they can know to go to them, but it's just like not a big deal. So I defer to just making more.
So you think one per Mac Mini, you're saying, or?
Again, it's up to you. Like, I wouldn't say like hard and fast. If you have one, for sure. If it's not gonna put you out to get another one, then yeah, cause I sometimes might even share like the same ChatGPT token on both, so I'm not paying for extra subscriptions. It just makes it easier for me to manage, and like even for me, I'm like, oh, that one I talked to that about, that one I talked to that about. So it's really just for like me to manage it, but you can do it that way. The system's definitely extensible, and I think you can do it if you want.
So I wanted that. Every time, something that was hard for me to know when I started doing the bots, when you restart or you go to another, like if you use Telegram, you can actually put them in like a forum style or like Discord. Every time you put them in a different channel, it's like a different bot. It has its personality, but it's like a new session. They don't remember the things that they were talking to each other. So it's almost like you have a different one or multiple one. And I think in your example here,
It's like from my setup, I actually built a UI to look at like multiple sessions. So that's like my Telegram is there. And then I run a lot to like my heartbeats. I hate seeing the notifications. So I have like a channel that's a session that's specifically for the heartbeats.
they're like individual.
Yeah, they're individuals. So each thing you see right here, like each session you see right here is like it's a different like chat with tempo. And like they're all like running multiple things.
Yeah, they don't see each other. You may ask it to look at that chat, but it's almost like an isolated thing where they don't know what the other conversation. That kind of had me like it was challenging for me to understand that. And I also did try in the office to try to create multiple bots on the same computer, and it just becomes a little bit of a mess. So with VPS and things you can do, it's super cheap.
Yeah, the other thing you want to think about is like, what do you want to be consistent? So if you like one bot doing a lot of different things, then you're stuffing the context every time. So if your memory.md, your agents.md, tools.md, those get really big because you're having to be like a super generalist agent, then your context starts at like 20% full. So that might be another reason. If it's like one that's just social media manager, knows our brand voice, knows how to navigate the LinkedIn DOM. It's like, okay, that's good enough for that one. I'll use another one for something else.
Thank you.
And depending on what kind of access you need, like Gianni said, you could set up a lot of these on VPSs and just be able to Dockerize each one of the instances. Sorry?
Safe is relative.
I would say no.
For non-technical
non-technical
people,
Having on your own computer is easier and more safe because, but each one has its caveats.
I mean, I 100% would recommend if you're like, unless everybody knows you, then chances are if you're like non-technical, then your stuff is like isolated or people are like trying to deliberately get into your stuff. The thing with VPS is that it does like open, like sometimes they're deployed on shared IP addresses. And there are just people out there who are just like looking to fucking get into somebody's thing just because.
They're open, right?
Yeah, they are open. So I mean, in instructions I shared, like one very huge thing is around like permissions. So by default, your sessions will start in a permission called root. You want to ensure that you lock that root user down, and switch it to a next user that doesn't have full access to your droplets or console. So I mean, a general the general rule of thumb, whether you're setting up OpenClaw or literally like running info like sending an email for your company is just least privilege possible. So you just have to be like very mindful with that.
Something I'm also seeing is like people assume it's like they think about it very binary. I was talking to a friend today. It's like, well, do you have to give it everything? It's like, no, you don't. And, you can start with just like putting it on your machine, just using it as like a harness for stuff, and then like little by little give it. It's not like an all or nothing. And then as you gain comfort, not that I'm not here like trying to hawk it, but I just like see people think about it and it's like super binary way. It's like, oh, you got to do it all. It's like you really don't. You can use it very lightly, and it's not. There's really far less risk.
And think of it as if you were to be hiring somebody for your company, right? You hire a VA or an executive assistant, you may not give them bank access and full read-write access to your email right away. You're going to work with that person until there's trust developed and you can build on that.
Hi there. So I have a question a bit for the whole audience, which is like, who's here to make some money with OpenClaw? Okay, and of you, who's willing to like let OpenClaw have access to your credit card? So I say that there is some crazy people, but the reason why I have my hand raised is that I'm not crazy. Actually, I've secured a partnership with MasterCard and Visa to develop an OpenClaw skill that will let the bot use like your credit card in a safe way with like spanning limits, safety features, and it also supports like Web3. So I have a friend of mine back in Italy, I'm from Italy, like he's using this skill because it's like reselling Nike shoes, and like on the Nike website when shoes come out, like they are instantly sold out. So he's like my beta tester and he's using this skill to like buy Nike shoes and then resell them. But like the options are limitless. Like you see something on the street that you like, take a picture, you can develop your own integration and it will automatically buy it on Amazon. And you know that it's not gonna fuck up with your money. So
Awesome.
yeah, I just wanted to connect with anybody interested in letting these bots spend some money. Like my t-shirt is easy to find if you want to chat after. Yeah, just look for me.
Awesome. Thank you. Nice meeting you. Any other questions?
So I run a social media management agency, so I manage like hundreds of accounts. A lot of them are like individual phones because we have issues with bans on like computers. But we have, VAs control them from screen mirroring on the computer. But I was wondering if there's a way for the bot to control the screen that's being mirrored.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'll let them. Who wants to take that?
Well, yeah, say the flavor, but there is, I'm about to look for it. I'll give you my card. There's someone that's built out like virtual desktops for the bots that they can control. It's called computers for agents. And it's like, they're like virtual desktops that the agents are kind of spawning up on the fly. And the guy is actually going to Upwork and bidding on projects, and the bots are doing the projects and submitting the work completely autonomously using these virtuals.
If they're running on a virtual machine, you can just put OpenClaw on that machine. Oh. Yeah, there's also Peekaboo, which like can control a Mac. So you could. And so, look, one thing I'd also say is, if you hit a limit, just tell it to build. Like I was talking to a buddy today. He's like, there wasn't an iOS app natively that was a gateway, so I could talk to it with 11 Labs. And 10 minutes later, I had it. I just built it. So I also just like try to build it with the app.
So yeah, there's a thing developers use called Playwright. It's pretty like programmable. It does allow you can use it to like view screens. And then there's a company called Browser Base. They actually released a feature like I think today or yesterday that's specifically built. It's called Browser Base. And they released a feature to help agents control computer screens.
Yeah, that's
So I tried it, and X saw that I was doing Playwright and trying to do it.
That's the whole update, like yesterday or today, that they're cracking down on people who use OpenClaw to post on X, and as well as just bots and in general.
Any other questions?
If the command injection vector and was it encoded or just a big acid one?
The injector. That was what. Yeah. What our friend in the room sent to you.
Yeah, the question. My friend sent like a JSON injection. It was benign. He wasn't really a security auditor or anything, but he wanted to see if the AI would send him back my passwords or some information. When you're actually one thing to note, if you are using it and interacting with the rest of the world or outside world, they recommend using very large models like an Opus 4.6 or ChatGPT 5.3, because if you use the smaller ones like a Haiku or some of these open source ones that don't have a lot of reasoning power, it can be deceived. So if you're using that higher level, stronger model to interact with the world, it will figure out that it's trying to like hack it. Plus, OpenClaw does something where it knows that you are the only authorized person to interact with it. So like if you have it through Telegram, it knows that if there's an issue, it'll flag it and tell you. So all tonight, if people have been sending stuff, somebody's actually trying to advertise your hosting or something, and it flagged it and told me, hey, you better watch out with this one. It kind of like was like mentioning.
I'll just also say that in I started creating a bot that anyone can bring their OpenClaw bot to Cackles is coming very soon. I've been testing with my own, and people tried to get my password and my information, and my bot didn't give it to them. So there's that too.
Go.
Like the tactical trick is, I feel like whenever your bot is receiving untrusted things, you should have it wrap it as like untrusted. So any emails that come into you is like an untrusted source. Just make sure it just labels that, and that will help if you're like running off some like cheaper models. The instructions you give to it sometimes are not hard coded. It will do its own shit. Like my bot Tempo,
it literally struggles with the fact that I just asking it to help me do stuff. So like if I'm like, oh, send an email, it's like why can't I send an email? What's this person's email and how do I get to them? So just remember that sometimes it will actually try to do the thing.
Mine actually found a tunnel system on Cloudflare and tunneled its way out without my permission.
Joel.
The guy that said, fuck it to PRs and going directly to production. Do you know anyone that is doing more dangerous experiments than you?
No, I still use PRs occasionally, but for the most part, I've been deploying directly to me. I use branches too. I take precautions. I'm not just throwing it into the wind, but I feel pretty confident about a lot of the work that my bot can tell.
Hey, how's it going, guys? Appreciate your time. I had a question for David. Was there a reason that you decided to go for linear versus being the project management side within like a self-hosted GitLab or within GitHub?
No, this is what we use already. As a company, we're already using linear for a lot of stuff. I had started to do like markdown files with like checkboxes and ticks, but then I wanted the team to be able to see it. And also I wanted the project updates and all that kind of stuff. So it's more like those already are existing infrastructure as a company. So, but I think it would work with anything that has an MCP or an API. It's the way to sort of manage. The big shift was like, forget linear, and just like, oh, these things need a backlog, just like the way a team does, except instead of doing them in days and weeks, they do them in seconds and minutes. But I still need a backlog.
So Dave, in our office, inspired me with Markdown. So over a weekend, I wanted my bot to do the work. So I actually had my bot build out a system called TickMD. And basically it writes like a Markdown. And it's like a CLI thing that you can install. Caveat, it's not tested that much, or if you want to collaborate, we can collaborate together. Oh, you use it good. You can pay for it. Yeah. Well, yeah, eventually there's pricing because I want to host the dashboard and make you pay for it. But basically it does a like a flat file, and then there's a CLI that you can has a skill so the bot can write directly to the markdown, and then it uses GitHub to kind of keep it in sync. So if you have a bot, like he may have a bot, and I have a bot, and it has an auto feature that constantly keeps it committed. So that way the GitHub is creating the conflict resolution. So, and it's actually pretty cool because I had it like every time I have it do something like what you do, I say write the tick, write the plan, save it because it forgets, and then when we come back to it, it can continue working on that thing.
So we'll take two more questions and then we'll hang out and chat. So Joel.
Thank you, everybody, for coming up here and doing this presentation. It's been great. I've learned so much. I feel like I don't know anything about AI, and all my friends think I'm crazy for what I'm talking about. So thank you. Sent you all LinkedIn connection, by the way, this afternoon. So long report.
What's your name?
Sam Miller.
Awesome, Sam. Nice meeting you, man.
Nice to meet you. My question was, do you have any resources that can help me or anybody here take your live coding idea to actually to market? Like I work in marketing myself, but going from nothing to selling something on a lovable, it's
So is your question about where to build it or how to get distribution? That's the $1 million question, right?
PR guy.
We'll let the PR guy tackle it.
So that's a good question. I'm doing it. I'm one of the. I mean, I'm doing it for all the products, but one of the ones I'm doing it for right now is the social app Capitals, and it's hard, right? Because like you have the cold start problem, and unless you have an existing network or distribution chain, and many people have something, but it's getting it out there to more and more people is always difficult. So one of the things that I've done with OpenClaw, and that's what I'll talk about, is how I have it scouring Twitter and Reddit for opportunities for me to engage in conversation, not necessarily always to promote cackles or what I'm doing, but to just engage in conversation with people and build relationships. Because at the end of the day, everything is about building relationships with people. So you can use OpenClaw to do that very successfully. In fact, Discord this is the example I was giving earlier. Discord recently had this huge debacle over face scans or digital IDs, essentially, that they were making a partnership with a company that works with Palantir, who, shout out, just moved down here. Anyway, people were all up in arms about it. So there was a lot of opportunity there for me to check what was going on and reply to those people and offer up an alternative and just be part of that conversation. And I think really that's what it comes down to when it comes down to building relationships with people and building distribution and getting out there. It's a long game, but if you do it right, people will start noticing it. I've had signups come in through that engagement, and I keep working on those types of opportunities, and it's just like it's not a one and done. It's a continuous thing that you work on every day.
So distribution is the hardest thing. I have one little in my Discord. I have it an SDR version, and it's doing every heartbeat. It does research on potential prospects that match Ralph and I's ICP, and it looks at my CRM, it looks at my LinkedIn, and does all the research, finds information for them, and then eventually Mia will start sending emails to them. And we actually built out a really cool thing on our website. There's a landing page that it creates a video of Mia saying, "Hey, I just produced something for you, Dave." It creates dynamically the presentation using Gamma's API, and you can even have a conversation with Mia. So it's like the potentiality is pretty crazy. But I think we're gonna wrap it up. But before
one more question.
we gotta take a picture before.
Yes, but one last question.
Thank you guys for the last question, and thank you for everything. My question has to do with memory. What's like the biggest improvement, or what's the unique thing that you did in your OpenClaw to improve that?
So I think someone's gonna say QMB, so I'll say that one. One thing I did is in that skill that I made locked in. Part of what I have it do is I sort of invented this markdown file called breadcrumbs. And so every so often it just like logs what it's doing at the project level, so that if it does compaction or if it resets, whatever, it can just go back and be like where I left off. So there's always just like a trail of breadcrumbs of what we were working on every commit. And so that helps me. My projects hardly ever go off the rails. If I need to do a reset or something, it gets caught up pretty quickly. And there's tons of other stuff, but at the project level, it's fine too.
So, I mean, I talked about this a little bit in my presentation, but essentially, I think it's important to understand that the basic memory system that comes with OpenClaw, it leaves a lot to be wanted. There are features that can be enabled after the fact. I forgot what that's called. Do you remember the name of it? Like some memory feature that's not enabled by default.
Yeah, like pre-save.
Yes, yeah. So you definitely want to enable it. If you download from my thing, it'll enable it. But there's also other things, just kind of figuring out like how to best handle tasks in the moment, like dealing with like you will find things while you're working that you feel like can be improved. And if you feel that way, ask it to improve it and have ways to improve it. And that'll make it a lot better.
So memory for me has been the most challenging thing with OpenClaw. There's a really cool skill that you can find. It's called last 30 days. If you guys can look for that, check it out. Have your bot do a little security scan on it. It seems to be a good, reputable person. But basically what it does, it looks on Reddit, it looks on X, and finds all the information about something. And in particular, you have an issue with memory, you could say last 30 days, OpenClaw memory fixes. And it will scour the last 30 days and give you kind of a report. And then your bot already saw the report and say, what kind of tactics can we implement from this report? Some of the things I've done, there are some settings when it compacts the memory where you can catch it before it compacts, because it's supposed to do checkpoints every like 50,000 tokens, or you can like set that, and it's supposed to write some little breadcrumb sometimes to then when it refreshes or compacts, it's supposed to pick that up ChatGPT, Gemini, they all do that, and we don't even see it. They're just so efficient with that memory management. The other thing that I try to build a tool called Memory Tools that uses the same memory files, but it does something where it tries to score memories that it needs to remember 100%. So like you can do the experiment yourself. You could say, my favorite color is purple, and then do a new session. What's my favorite color? Purple. And then you ask it again, no, my favorite color is blue. Do a new session. Well, I have conflicting memories. And the system I kind of built, it like really injects like score to make sure that that is the memory that it's gonna recall. But it is really challenging. You have to basically tell it to remember. When there's a thing that you want to remember, please remember this. Save this to memory. So
a big one for me is building skills that help recall. So when there's specific things that you wanted to do, like a great way is actually like giving it a primer on how to like leverage its skills. The founder of Shopify built something called QMD. It's really good to help like memory compaction. I actually use mine for search. It's like a hybrid of like something called like vector search. Don't implement a vector system. I tried it and stress tested, didn't work. I actually use my setup with the actual like database on the back, and as it's like learning, it's like dropping things there, and I have a system and a cron job that like I created like a plugin that basically syncs both. But that kind of like helps with any like lags or drift. At the end of each day, it goes back to what I have in my database and ensure that it's consistent with the actual like things that it's like learning. So if it ever like switches anything because of instruction it got for me, it will revert back to what's in the database. And then just like Gianni, like so I use like mine a lot for like people, and I have it like build scores. So over time, it's actually like tracking my interactions with my connections. It understands like what's important to me. And as like as it's actually like consuming more context, then it's kind of like forgetting some stuff. And then one real quick trick that I learned that's been like super helpful is have a shared language for how you do things with the AI. Come up with like a system, like your own personal operating system for how you interact with the AI. So I always talk to mine about tasks, and I built a feature that allows me to like reference contacts, and everybody has like a unique identifier. Computers do very well with this. So all my contacts, emails, and projects have unique identifiers. And as I'm like interacting with Tempo through my dashboard, I'm at places where I can like reference so it knows specifically and exactly who I'm talking about. It helps with like the memory. I have a dope knowledge graph on the back end that's just marked down knowledge.
Do you want to add something?
Another thing I've been using a lot that I really recommend is Obsidian. It's a great like markdown editor, and it has syncing across. So all my 6 agents all use the same Obsidian bolt, so they can like interact with them. And I'm using that different Obsidian bolts for like my tasks, my projects, and so I'm just doing it all there, and then I push it if I need it in the cloud to Notion or wherever. But that has it all as markdown files, and the agents are just so good at traversing markdown files. So that's another great way to handle it.
Yeah, and then just before we wrap, and we'll hang out if anybody has any other questions, but just before I wrap, I cannot underestimate, or understate the importance of being curious and leaning on your bot and asking it questions and asking it to develop. Like a lot of the things that we're all working with right now have come as a result of asking the question and pushing and saying no. It's okay to say no. I don't agree with this. Or in questioning your bot. And it's just going to get better and better and better.
That's why I want to see everybody put those bots in the real world. Augmentedgames.ai. Give it skills, give it brains, let it interact with humans, and let's see what happens. I mean, there's no better way.
I love it. So we will keep everybody updated. We'll send an update on the Luma invite. We'll have updates on the website as well. Let's take a quick picture. Everybody claws up. First, OpenClaw Miami Meetup.
And of course, Ralph.
Awesome. Thank you, everybody, for a successful night. Really appreciate everyone coming out today. Good job. Hey,